Hello everyone. Today I will do a video presentation on the performance of sequencing batch reactor in treating wastewater from wool processing industry. This presentation is for the International Science and Social Science Innovation Competition 2020. My name is Adibah Binti Baharun alias Baharuddin, and I am the main author for this research. My co-author names are Zaifah binti Chewil and Nur Syuhada binti Arba'an. We are lecturers from Civil Engineering Department, Polytechnic Sultan Idris Shah, Sabak Bernam, Selangor. Wool industries play an important role beside textile industry. Wool are processed to make woolen yarn and fabric. The primary source of raw wool is sheep. To produce high-quality clothes, factories that involve in wool production includes wide variety usage of chemicals. This activity has always been a great issue to the environmentalists because it possesses quite a dangerous impact on water quality. Nankai Nikkei Sdn Bhd, formerly known as the Nankai Wood Spinning Sdn Bhd, is owned by Japan. The company is established in 1988 and has been in the spinning woolen yarn industry for more than 23 years in Malaysia. They secured two sub-companies in Malaysia located in Semenyih and Terengganu. In general, the wool processing industry has too high percentage of dissolved organic and inorganic solid, acidity, alkalinity, biochemical oxygen demand, chemical oxygen demand, suspended solid, and other different parameters. The pollutant identified from Nankai Nikkei Sdn Bhd wastewater includes raw materials, processed chemicals, oil and impurities in raw wool, final product, and processed byproducts. The discharge effluent cannot be treated without a proper treatment plan. The study focused on the effectiveness of sequential batch reactor for the treatment of wastewater produced by the company mainly involved in wool industry, as well as identifying the constituent of its effluent that possess a major threat to the water quality. Sequencing batch reactor, or also known as SBR, is an alternative biological treatment system used to treat wastewater from Nankai Nikkei Sdn Bhd to reduce COD content. All treatment process takes place in the single reactor tank. Hence, it is cost-effective and simple to construct. Sequencing batch reactor allows the wastewater to be treated in batch mode and each batch sequenced through a series of treatment stages. The cycle for each tank in a typical sequencing batch reactor is divided into 5 phases, which are fill, react, settle, draw, and idle. The effluent discharged by Nankai Nikkei Sdn Bhd contain a few parameters that exceed the standard limit stated in Standard B in 5th Schedule, Environmental Quality Act 1974, under Environmental Quality Industrial Effluent Regulations 2009. The parameters are biochemical oxygen demand, chemical oxygen demand, total suspended solid, oil and grease, and also ammoniacal nitrogen. These parameters must be treated properly as to comply the required standard limit of Department of Environment. Besides the high level of this parameter, it is identified that the pH value from this company's wastewater is very low, in the average of 2.2. It appears that the effluent discharged by them is categorized as very acidic. The wastewater discharged by Nankai Nikkei Sdn Bhd also contains a high level of COD. Hence, this study is conducted to explore the potential of sequencing batch reactor in conjunction with pH adjustment to treat the wastewater from wool-based industry. There are 3 objectives of this study. Number 1 is to study the quality of discharge effluent from Nankai Nikkei Sdn Bhd treatment plant. Number 2 is to treat Nankai Nikkei Sdn Bhd wastewater using sequencing batch reactor. Number 3 is to evaluate the effectiveness of sequencing batch reactor in terms of reduction in COD, mixed liquid suspended solid, and pH adjustment. The study will be carried out using industrial wastewater discharge and activated sludge. The industrial wastewater are taken from their two main processes, which are backwash and superwash. Meanwhile, the activated sludge is taken from Indah Water Consortium treatment plant. After that, a lab scale of sequencing batch reactor is set up. The samples fill up the tank and system are left for 23 hours to complete the system cycle. During the selected time intervals, COD, MLSS and pH are being measured before and after the cycle. At the end of the period cycle, the treated effluent is drawn out of the tank. These are the operations of sequencing batch reactor. There are 5 phases included. Number 1 is fill, where the wastewater from Nangkai Nikir Sendirian Berhad fills the SBR tank. After that, the wastewater completely mixed with biomass or sludge that is readily present, and air is provided to the tank to aid the biomass growth. After that, in the settle phase, the mixing and aeration is stopped to let the settlement of solid to the bottom of the tank. Then, the suspended solid and the treated effluent are separated. Next is draw phase, where the clarified effluent is discharged. And the last phase is idle, where the sludge is being removed and it serves as a resting period for microorganisms in the sludge. This table shows the cycle operational time for sequencing batch reactor. At the end of the experiment, there are 3 parameters being measured. Number 1 is COD, chemical oxygen demand. Number 2 is mixed liquid suspended solid, MLSS. And number 3 is pH. The quality of the effluent discharge depends on the reading of the chemical oxygen demand, pH, and mixed liquid suspended solid. It is expected that the chemical oxygen demand is more than 1000 mg per liter, and the pH is very acidic, and the mixed liquid suspended solid is more than 300 mg per liter. Thus, these parameters have exceeded the standard limit stated by the Department of Environment. To evaluate the sequencing batch reactor performance efficiency, the system must reach a stable state first. Therefore, it is important to ensure that the activated sludge filled in the tank is properly acclimatized to the system. It is estimated that 6 days is necessary for proper acclimatization and start up of the sequencing batch reactor operation. Acclimatized period plays an important role throughout the study. It serves as a pre-treatment stage for the biomass to be able to adapt with the industrial wastewater. As a conclusion, the performance of sequencing batch reactor can be applied to treat industrial wastewater, especially effluent coming from wool-based industry. And the quality of effluent discharge can be based on 3 main parameters. They are COD, MLSS, and pH. It is to provide comparison of effluents before and after treatment using sequencing batch reactor. This study considers sequencing batch reactor as an advanced wastewater treatment process so that the effluent from Nangkai Nikir Sendirian Berhad treatment plant meet the relevant standard of discharge. That's all. Thank you.